Hi everybody, it's October 6th. I'm sitting in the park just north of the Senate office buildings. I'm sitting here because my hotel room was set up as a death trap. Um, we were able to manage it a little bit last night. Last night it was CFCs and chlorine. Chlorine politically correctly from the towels that need to be soaked in it. That's the abrasive, and it wasn't as bad as the night before. The night before was really bad. Um, Anyway, here I am, still alive, and waiting on the storm that comes after the calm of sitting around and meeting with some people who are doing smiley face. I presume Vienna Opera general routines. Um, I'll get to that in a minute. Right now, I'm just going to put this down for a bit. It's beginning to smell like politically correct insecticide. I'm going to move on. I'm now over by just south of the fountains at the Senate. I'm trying to deal with the wind issues. The fountains themselves smell like A, they've been chlorinated, and B, they got hit by that stuff we found at 55th and 6th, courtesy of El Nusra, around here in front of the Capitol. Oh, it's just the grounds crew, and it needs to, get rid of the algae and this and that. It's always something. It's never, gee, that stuff smells toxic. Anyway, it's the usual games. In front of every bench upwind is, or every sittable bench upwind, there's a problem. You got mules around here. I'll look at it behind me because I found kind of a quiet spot, but now it smells like a cesspool and who the hell knows what. I can't stay here. I gotta keep moving. A few minutes later, I found another bench at the Taft Memorial here. They got something in the air. It's kind of nervy. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to get out of here. They got this whole time rigged. Part of the advantage I have in getting gas with CFCs yesterday and the day before was that my senses are like bloodhound. I could just pick it right out of the air. Usually it's pretty good. But with CFCs in my system, oh, even the bloodhounds are intimidated by my ability to smell stuff. What a great thing to have. Here I am just west of the Capitol. Nice little park. There's a bench in it. Diazinon. The whole place was hit by politically correct weed killer. He's a bug killer, whatever it is. I was over there. I now moved over to further west here. Over there you see that open field that has fertilizer on it. You smell it. It smells like cow turds and phosphates for all sense. This is obviously intentional. All of it. They turned Washington into Syria. And you might think, well, wouldn't it be nice if you just went and sat in Starbucks for... I can't even go into Starbucks for a minute before some mule comes in and sets off something. Pick their poison, right? Ricin, sometimes CFC, sometimes are rarer. This new CFC trick is new again. Was last year all the time. And they got sarin, they got the different kinds of VX, they got all kinds of stuff. Anything to be annoying. When in doubt, fill it up with chlorine, or in this case, insecticide or fertilizer. It just goes on and on and on. I can't go into stores, I can't go into cafes, it's just how it works. I gotta eat, so it's mostly stores I can go in, find a bunch of prepared stuff really quickly, and get the hell out. Even at Walmart yesterday, I had 20 gassers in the space of less than 5 minutes. It's really terrible. I suppose I should say for the record, the latest super escalation here is caused probably by a combination of factors, but one of them has to do with the obviousness of looking at the Mandalay Bay thing and knowing that it had to be military, or paramilitary actually, and had to be intelligence involvement. Now, you know, and to me, that's what I was fighting up in Maine, so I obviously come to the conclusion it's probably the same people sitting at the higher levels giving an order that they needed a distraction. Oh man, if they ain't going to get the hounds of heck coming at me, I don't know what is. I mean, today's just going to be a day, evidently, of pick a poison. You know, like every other day for the last year. It was a year ago this week that the fun really started, and I realized that I really have to do things differently because there's now a very concerted war against me. I lived a year. That's amazing, given what was coming at me. I haven't been easy. Had a lot of help, a lot of people around. And I owe them, and I think we're going to get a lot of this crap out of their communities. When the Donald's talking about the storm that's coming, here's a standard one. Out comes the lawnmower right upwind. Isn't that beautiful? Actually, it's slightly moving downwind now, but it'll be back. I just moved. The wind just shifted so that the poison grass, or whatever the hell the orange cones represent, comes straight at me now. So upwind, downwind has shifted, and as you can see, this lawn does not need to be mowed for another 2 weeks probably. I'm now across from the Botanical Gardens with the Indian Museum at my back. Obviously what we fight is a zonal system. Everything's been zoned by the gassers, and they've laid down, you know, basic annoying stuff in that Botanical Garden, for example. I mean, it's really nice, except for they got boxwoods everywhere and they're all poisoned. Anyway, I can't sit in there. That would be a nice place to sit. Nope, not today. Basically, they got everything wired, and I get in the train, the mules come in usually, and we got to play games. I'm in and out. They got the baseline, and then they got the mules to bring in the extra. I don't know how those things are alive, really, other than they come out of clown cars, jump back into clown cars, and constitute flash mobs when necessary. I'm now in front of the Department of Education. I got to keep walking. I'd like to sit down, but I can't. Everywhere's got something. And it's always a rotating set of problems. Here it's that ISIS STP stuff. Somebody's driving up and down the street, a whole lot of somebody's, with additives to their gas tank that don't help make the car go, but make the air quality toxic. You know, yay America, land of the free. It's why we need to have gas-powered cars still, I think. I'm now in front of Education, still looking for some air that's breathable. It's just not to be found today. Not in the parks, not in the streets. Maybe if I sat at Union Station, I would have got 2 minutes of it before it got screwed up. I might go out to Rosslyn today. I don't know. I might go somewhere else. Sometimes I make videos with the idea that if I'm dead tomorrow, what needs to be said by me before I croak, so others can carry on with whatever it is we're going to do. I mean, as I noted, a year ago I knew I was forfeit. 3.5 years ago I knew I was forfeit. I mean, you know, I'm old, I've had a full life, and they're coming after me. Okay, well, how long can I keep the plates spinning and expose them and get them on the record and the rest of that? That's been kind of the MO for the last year or so, especially. Of course, it was before that too, but it was done different. It was a little quieter because it didn't have the supranational and then the international components to it. There's really not a lot that needs to be said that others don't know. It's obviously a big conspiracy of gassers. It begins in the military and intelligence community, and we got to get them out of there. And they're linked with the Leninists. Can't have a dialogue about anything, including what possible motive could there be for somebody who obviously planned something out military style and didn't just get it on the internet. Guys don't do things like that on their own normally. They usually have to get really intimidated, extorted, bribed, whatever into it. Sometimes a combination of all three. The extortion always has to be there. It's probably his racket too, is what I'm figuring. When the Donald talks about big changes to come, they go all the way into the White House. That new renovation, as soon as I heard that, I went, whoa, I know what that is. They're rigging everything. Why wouldn't they rig that? And I'm sitting in a hotel that has brand new rigging technology, and NSA and I are walking through the pieces now, trying to, you know, get the stuff out. The problem personally is they're always coming after me. The problem professionally isn't one. It's really theirs. They keep coming after the most experienced field guy at debugging these rooms. I just keep getting better at it. And with help from the outside, even if they got the technology stuff going, we'll figure it out one way or the other. That I have confidence in. There's a whole bunch of other stuff going on in the world, and we got all kinds of things going. And if we get through to the next couple of days intact, we'll be fine. I hope. Best to everybody. One more thing. I've been on Amtrak trains that have come right to the edge of being, or having a bunch of people be unconscious. And given the nature of the criminals around doing the gassing. In fact, one of the trips, there was a whole variety of stuff going on, and there was an agent sitting in the row next to me, and we were going through what the different things were. I was letting them know in our own way that which each of the gases were. We were calibrating the meters. We were doing all kinds of stuff. But I mean, well, I'm going to get in an Amtrak train. I can get in a train here, but I don't want to be in a closed compartment for more than 5-6 minutes, so that I can get out. I went to the airport yesterday, Nashville, and I expected to have clear air yesterday, given the way the wind was coming and whatnot. That whole terminal was trashed. I couldn't believe it. I had to get out of there. So I got out of there, and some, you know, faggot yuppie thing got in front of me and did the Bluetooth, where a couple of days earlier it had been an elderly couple doing the same thing. One of my favorites. Blue frog venom. Yay. Boy, that's really clever. We'll never check for that, will we? I just crossed the street. I'm about to head into L'Enfant station and go past the rocket men who are on the wall. I guess some Apollo astronauts or EVA guys or something. I don't know if they can. One waves, the other doesn't now. He wasn't even there a couple of weeks ago. Anyways, across the street, a nice Virginia plate, VXT, that's my initial, followed by 684, which is a call sign we sometimes use for Putin. And I'm telling you, you know, you look at what we fight in terms of political correctness, and what do they insist on? They want to insist that I don't speak Russian, so that, you know, I'm reading way too much into coded non-messages that aren't there because it's all paranoid and delusional. This is what they're doing. It's a hell of an advantage. I mean, it's got its downsides as somebody comes by with ISIS STP in his truck tank. It has its real advantages. We're under the radar, obviously. I'm now here in front of my hotel. I got time for a very quick recap. The problems that we've been researching began for me in Maine 3.5 years ago. Other people had them, but not nearly this extreme. Turned into a national thing, then an international thing, military intelligence, and what we ended up with was Central Park, that to me looks like it needs to actually be shuttered for a couple of months until we can figure out how to clean it up. Trump Tower guards were being gassed with the boxwood thing. That's where we really did it. The Upper East Side. Downtown was a disaster. Multiple overlapping, intersecting stuff. And down here I came and expected to find nothing, and instead I found the Supreme Court, the Capitol, and the White House all had the boxwoods around and all kinds of nested problems around there. I'm done. That's all the time I got. We do have a problem. I'm in my hotel room looking out. I was sitting on those benches for the last clip, and the gas mules started coming by. I'm presuming the people who walked behind me in the video weren't the gas mules, but there were some other ones. Then one sat up, wind, turned on the Ryson, might as well have had a boxwood on it. Hang on just a second. We've had several surprises in doing our research over the last year and our countermeasures and whatever. But let me say, when I talk about just those few places being gassed, it's a much bigger problem than that in Washington. Basically, the whole area has some issues. Obviously, it's a coordinated attack on the land of the free and our systems and whatnot.